Good morning and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim and I'm your hostess, and this is my podcast all about knitting, spinning, dyeing, anything else I could think of to do with yarn besides crocheting. With the arthritis in my hands, it's a little hard for me to crochet where knitting doesn't hurt it. I don't know, it just does. Anyways, I want to welcome everybody. Today's March 29th, and this is the 59th episode. Wow. I say that every week. I'm sorry. I just do. It's crazy. I want to welcome everybody, whether you're a first-time viewer or you've been watching it for a while. I love you guys all. I love all of you. And I'm so thrilled every time I get a comment about what you like or what you don't like, or I like it when you guys say that it's just like I'm talking to you in your living room, because that's kind of what I wanted it to be. I wish that you could talk back to me every week, because, then it'd be a two-way conversation. Anyways, I've had a couple of new people on my YouTube, but I don't usually recognize or say your names unless you also join my Ravelry group. So just so you know, I love you, and I'm so glad you subscribed. But Picnics 4 did join my Ravelry group this week, and so I do want to thank you for joining. And I hope you find a lot of things here that you like. Anyways, what's been going on? Well, I do want to let you know that I am going to be having surgery on May 3rd, which is a Tuesday. So I could possibly miss filming that week. I haven't missed a week since I've started, but that week if I don't get it filmed on Monday, I might miss that week. So if you notice there's a week without me, it's not I'm stopping. I'll just be in the hospital. If you're on my Instagram, maybe I'll send a picture showing you that. Yes, I truly am in the hospital. We'll see. Anyways, it's nothing serious. It's just I had a pinched nerve. I have a pinched nerve, part of arthritis, and so they have to go in and fix it. So anyway, so when you see me the following week, I will have a collar on because I have to wear this beautiful collar for a couple of weeks. So, well, that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get started with what is on my needles. My milkweed. I finished the right front, and now I am on the right sleeve. I love this. I say that every week, but I love this. The only difference between the right sleeve and the left sleeve is the cable. On the other sleeve, the cable will twist the other way. Oh. As much as I don't like sleeves, I love doing cables. I do. Cables, they're like socks with me. They fascinate me. I love the way they turn out. So this is, this is my right sleeve. Ta-da! It's hard to see it against my sweater. Sorry. My milkweed sweater. It's coming along. I'm so happy. And that's why the pattern is by Carol Sunday, and the yarn is Ella Ray Classic Heather. My nose itches. Goodness. Let's see. Next thing. My annual temperature afghan, which goes along with our craft along for that annual temperature items. That's my Ravelry podcast group, so if you want to join it. There is an update in the Ravelry group of this picture, of this afghan, and you can see I am up to date, not including yesterday's, because I always work on the previous date. Like I'll work on yesterday's today, and that's just because I want to get the most accurate temperature. So this would have been from the day before. Ta-da! And I love it, I would have loved it if, for the afghan, I would have loved it if we'd have had a colder winter, because I'm going to miss some of those colors. I don't think next December it's going to get us. I shouldn't say anything. I doubt if it'll get that cold. If it does, I'll get to see some of those rich colors that I picked for the cold days. But otherwise, this is going to probably be about the color it will be for this year, unless we get some 90 degrees and 100 degrees, which will probably happen. I do live in Ohio. Well, that's something I didn't say. This podcast is from Lima, Ohio. It's where I live. Well, outside of Lima. But I love it here. By the way, I get a little thirsty when I do this, so I'm just having some caramel vanilla tea. I get it from the Republic of Tea. But it does help. And it tastes good. Okay, so, my afghan is the 10-stitch zigzag from Frankie Brown. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. In fact, Frankie Brown has tons of free patterns on Ravelry. The yarn that I'm using is KnitPicks Wool of the Andes Sports Yarn. And if you're interested in buying yarn from KnitPicks, I am an affiliate with them. So if you order through my link on the show notes, I will get a couple pennies from your purchase. It's not adding to the price of the yarn. It's just they do this for affiliates because I give them a plug on my show. So, okay. And you get the graph for that from weathergan.com. And you can have it updated daily. Or like for my daughter's afghan, I asked for 1983 for 1983, November 3rd of 1983 through November 2nd of 1984, and they just sent me a completely done pattern. They have it colored in. I used different colors because, especially for this one, my daughter loves green. Okay, I had to change cameras. I apologize. I don't know what's happening with my Kindle, but I'll just go to use my webcam. So if the quality is different, sometimes I sound softer using my webcam. I apologize, but you know, it is what it is. I apologize again. Anyways, to go on with my daughter's afghan, I have got 2 weeks worth of squares done. So this is from November 3rd through November 17th of the year that she was born, of 1983. And this is from, we lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the time. So, this gets done as I can get it done. It's while I'm bouncing on the ball with my other afghan. But if I have other things to do, such as another project I'll show you in a minute, it's going to take precedence because I don't have a time frame for that. So, anyways. Okay, so my daughter's afghan is made from KnitPicks Swish DK. And there is a link on there. Takes you right to KnitPicks. And it's done on size 4 needles. And the pattern is the memory blanket from Ravelry. It's free. Doesn't cost a thing. So it's a really easy pattern to make. I really enjoy that. In fact, I'm thinking I'll make all my my sons and my grandchildren's afghans the same way eventually. Okay. And I had a wonderful surprise this week. I think it's pettiskim. She sent me a message letting me know that my mystery socks are no longer a mystery yarn. Yay! She told me she thought it looked like Chroma Fingering. It is. As she thought it looked like the Vermont colorway. And when I looked, I decided that has to be what it is. Why I didn't think to look at KnitPicks. It's silly since they're my affiliate. But, oh, I love this yarn. It is so soft. Anyways, I'm going to have to get more of it because I just love it. Not right this minute. I've got plenty right now, as you can tell behind me. I got to get used to this because on my Kindle, when it records, it's a mirror image. But my webcam, it's opposite. So anyways, those are my mystery socks. And it's, like I said, KnitPicks Chroma Fingering in the Vermont. I have one sock done, and as you can tell, I've turned the heel on this. Maybe you can't tell. I turned the heel on this, and I love it. I love it. I'll show you the rest of the ball of the yarn. As you can tell, I've got some rust colors going into yellow. Ah, beautiful. These are for me. You know, you do have to knit things for yourself once in a while. I like knitting for a soup kitchen and chemo caps and all that, but it is fun to knit for yourself too. There's nothing wrong with it. Now the next one, I am not going to say the yarn. If you want to know what it is, look at previous podcasts, but I do not like this yarn. I'm trying to knit from the ball, and you can tell just there, this yarn sticks together horribly. So I go to knit with it, and I spend more time untangling, getting it unstuck and things, than I do knitting with it, which is why it's taking me forever to get through one sock. However, saying all that, I'm not a yarn snob, but I believe that if you're going to spend the money for the yarn, you might as well get the quality of yarn that you want. Anyways, I do love the pattern. And having said all that, I feel guilty, although it doesn't affect the quality of the sock, but these are going to go to the soup kitchen. It'll be a nice warm sock. It is wool. I just, you know, when I don't like something, I hate to give it to charity, but the sock itself is beautiful and it will keep them warm. So yeah, but I'm not going to say the yarn. I'm trying not to show it on camera because it's not my favorite. I will not purposely order that yarn again. Okay, yeah, if you want to know what it is, you can go in my show notes too. I do have it listed. I don't like giving negative reviews. Books are the same way. I'd much rather, when I'm reading a book I don't like, I'd much rather notify the publisher and the author that I do not care for this book for this reason or this reason. If you still want me to give a negative review, I will. Usually they don't. In fact, I've only ever heard back from one author who wanted to know where in the book, because that book did not strike me at all. I have to really like a book to get past the first couple chapters. Sorry, forgot I had those around my neck. If I have to struggle to get past the first couple chapters, that's when I let them know. And he wanted to know exactly where he lost me at. And so I told her from page 1, because it was. Anyways, last week I made the announcement that if I do not have a chemo sock or chemo cap started by this week, please let me know. Well, you don't have to. I started one. Not far. I'm not far on it. I need to get bouncing and put it over there by the ball when I'm bouncing. But I have started it. This is the last of my Katia Belice yarn. And I must say, I do love this yarn. But I've not found it in an affordable price range anywhere. So this will be the last chemo cap I make out of this. This is going to feel so nice on some child's head, which is very sensitive after chemo. It will, because it is soft. And it works up so pretty. So anyways, this is out of Katia Belice. They don't give their yarns numbers. So it's Colorway 315. And these needles are something brand new to me. I saw that KnitPicks was having cube needles. So what you probably can't tell. Get my hand back. It's going to focus on my hand. But the needles are square. They're cute. Which is supposed to make it easier on your joints. However, I never have issues when I knit with wooden needles, and that's what these are. The warmth of the wood feels good on my arthritic joints. So I can't really tell if the square helps or not. Will I buy them in the future? I don't know. I have nothing against them. But I also have nothing against wooden needles, and these are wooden and they're cubed. So I bought them to try, and I have nothing against them. I like them. I just have to decide if I would invest in a whole set of these or not. I don't know. Tough question, but that's my chemo cap. Size 4 needles. Now, I finished a couple things this week. I don't remember if I had these finished last week or not. Oh, I don't have it quite finished. I didn't do the ends. You know me and ends. But before I put these in the bin for the soup kitchen, I do need to weave in the ends. Ta-da! A pair of these striped. These were the Sirdar Heart and Sole. And, okay, I didn't get them lined up perfectly. But for me, that's half the fun. You know, they're still pretty close. I mean, I ended with just a bit of pink on this one. And this one has a mini stripe of pink. But that's pretty doggone close. And this is the Sirdar Heart and Sole, like I said. Size 1 needle. Just a plain sock because it was striped. I could have done a pattern, but it was plain striped. I mean, it was striped, so I just wanted to do a plain sock. And these are going to the soup kitchen as soon as I get the ends woven in. I'm horrible at that. I put it off and then I forget. So I got that done. And my kindness shawl. I just finished it last night. I didn't get to block it yet. So that's why it's curling. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me see if I can. Well, it's going to curl. Because, yeah. And this was made out of the yarn that fizzona sent my way. In fact, the other skein of it was given to somebody else as a prize. But the yarn comes from the Natural Dye Studio. It's Godiva Silk 4-ply sock yarn. And this is from the Blackmoor Gate. So thank you, fizzona. I love the yarn. I love the shawl. Perfect. So this is what I finished this week. Now, I did have a question from somebody last week, and I'm going to put it here because this is still a knitting section, about why is it that I work my socks from the toe up. Let me see. So, my first pair of socks I ever made were from the cuff down. And I was fine knitting them cuff down until I got to the toe. And the toe of the sock confused me. My Kitchener stitch is not good. And so my son was a very willing recipient of the first 2 pairs of socks that I made, but the toes fell apart on both. And so when I came across directions for how to knit from the toe up, I started off using, doing the magic loop, which was okay. And I have nothing wrong with it. I just, when it comes to the sides, I would have a very obvious seam along there. I did not do my side stitches tight enough. However, I still start my socks on a long cable size 1 needles because it's hard to start your socks on my zip. Okay, these aren't really called zippity-doo-dahs, but they're what I call them. On the zippity-doo-dah needles because they're very small and the cable there is not super flexible. So I start them on here, transfer them over. And I came across these short little needles from Cece's podcast. She was talking about them. They're Hayas, size 1. I think it's a 9-inch needle. And I actually have 3 pairs of them. I love them so much. And I call them zippity-doo-dahs because as I'm knitting, the knitting just goes along so fast that if I'm singing zippity-doo-dah, zippity-ay, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. And the knitting just goes really fast. Even on these socks that I don't like the yarn. So that's why I've changed to the toe up. With these needles, it's faster, and I don't like connecting the toes with the Kitchener stitch. I much rather start them and work up. That's the only reason. Don't be afraid to ask questions to me. If you have a question, you can either put it at the bottom of the show notes for the Ravelry group, or you can put it on YouTube and I'll try to get back to you. I'm answering it on here because, you know, other people might wonder, why does she like only doing toe up? Well, that's why. If I were better at connecting or grafting the toes, perfect. I would do the other way too, but I'm not, so I don't. Anyways, and I don't like them to fall apart when people wear them, especially if I give them to the soup kitchen. That just seems wrong. So that's why I work knit socks from the toe up. If you ever have any questions about techniques I use, because you know I toss with my right hand, but I flick with my left hand. I know both ways, and I do the Portuguese knitting, and I don't have my pin on today. When you see the little hanging pin with the little green stone on the bottom, I use that for Portuguese knitting. I haven't knit yet today, so I don't have it on. Anyway, so that's the question. Now, things that have been making me happy this week. I have new colorways in my Etsy store. Yay, 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 yay. I have one that I am calling Spring Meadows. I like the other one's a little bit better. Spring Meadows. Because it's a variegated, and I love the green in it. The green just reminds me of the spring meadow. My daughter wanted me to name it Redwood, and I would have, but it's springtime. And it's got little splashes of periwinkle and gold, and there's a little bit of brown in here, a little bit of turquoise, amongst various shades of green. So this is called Spring Meadows. And I'll still give my daughter and my granddaughter the commission off of anything I sell for the name, because they come up with good names. The next colorway I have in the store is one that she didn't have an option of naming, because it's called Jayne. This is named after one of my best friends, Jayne. I'm going to make her a pair of socks. I just haven't found the pattern that says Jayne to me yet. I keep fiddling and trying to think of things, and I haven't yet. But she is a dear lady. We became instant friends when we were both volunteering at our church. Every time we volunteered, we basically sat there and talked while we were doing our work. So this is my Jayne. Now, I did put one into a ball. I hand balled it. So it doesn't look quite as neat, but it's the same color. And then I also did one skein of my Midnight Journey. This is not on the Stellina base, so it doesn't have the little shiny flecks, but it is black and blue mixed together, and it's called Midnight Journey. Oh, and then I have one that's an accidental, that unless I have requests for it, it is not going to the Etsy store. I've told you before that I've learned how to knit by watching Dyer's to dye yarn by watching Dyer's Notebook. I love the way Laura does it, but I've also found other people on YouTube, and I've decided that when I watch an episode, I'm going to try that method. Okay. When I saw this one, I was thinking, that's not going to work, because the way she did it, I was thinking, it's going to get muddy in the middle. But because I made my promise to myself, I did it anyways. And with this, I put gold at one end and black at the other. And it's not what I was hoping for at all. But my husband said he would like a pair of socks out of it. So Cece is having a pattern test again, and so I am doing a pattern test for her. You can see the yarn because I dyed it. But once I start knitting on it, you're not going to be able to see the sock except for the sole. I'll show you how it works out. So if somebody wants this yarn, or a skein of yarn like this, yes, I will dye it, but I'm not putting it in my store. But I love it when I have new colorways that are going in the store. So there's that. And then I mentioned pattern testing for Cece. And then I had something come in the mail. I had ordered it. When I was in the UK with my daughter in 2005, we'd spent 5 weeks in the UK. And I hate this. We would walk a lot. And this was before I even had my knees replaced. And there were days when we just couldn't. We didn't have the money to eat out. We distributed our money for how much we were going to spend each day. And that money ran out sometimes. And my daughter would pick up a drink and a Mars bar. Very nutritious meal. But sometimes at the end of walking all day, and I was using a cane, that was what I needed. And so I've become a big fan of Cadbury chocolate from the UK and Mars bars from the UK. So I had ordered a 4-pack of these, and they just came the other day. And, well, they came last week. I'm down to 2 bars. Yes, they make me happy. Yes, I'll be sad when they're gone. It's a sad, sad thing, but it makes me so happy. So, anyways, that's something else that makes me happy, but it shouldn't because it's not good for me, but I love them. I love Cadbury chocolate and Mars, and I don't have them that often, so it's a nice little treat. Okay, going on to what I have one other thing to show you. It doesn't go with what, this makes me happy. I've talked about Wool Boffy, and his auctions are closing at the end of March, he did tell me. But I am a customer of his, and hers, because they're a married couple. And I'll put the video on their Facebook page. But this is some of the lovely, lovely roving that I spun up. And I'm actually going to do, I usually combine this with some other colors. But I actually just want to do a ball of this. So I'm going to apply these later on today. I just love it. And it just actually, I mean, the quality of their roving is wonderful. Unfortunately, I've told so many people about it that I think I have competition when it comes to bidding on it. So sometimes I don't give everything that I want, but he has offered to sell it to me in the amounts that I want. Just have to let him know. He's a deer. She's a deer. They're both deer. So anyways, it comes directly from their Shetland sheep. It is so soft. Oh, I think I'll end up making a hat out of the yarn. I love hats. They're fun. It won't be a chemo cap, but it'll be a hat. So anyways, that's something else that's been making me happy. My spinning always makes me happy, but that is just beautiful. Anyways, okay. As you know, I always watch Critical Role. I don't talk about it a lot on here because some people don't care for Dungeons and Dragons. But it got a bad rap in the 70s and the 80s. Bad rap. You can tell what generation I grew up in. Anyways, it's just a creative fantasy role game. It's off the top of their heads. They don't know where the story's going to bring them. A lot of it is the decisions they make, or there's a dungeon master, which he basically writes the storyline behind the choices that they make. So it's fun. And it's once a week on Thursdays. However, it's like 4 or 5 hours long. So I usually have to watch it twice because I don't catch everything. They have other shows on there too that I enjoy. But that's the main one that got me to watching Geek and Sundry. So anyways, the next thing that I've been reading was my daughter's blog. And if you go to my blog, and WordPress, it should be on there too, I have a picture of my granddaughter making a kite. Because this week on Beyond the Schoolyard, my daughter and grandchildren were talking about weather. And so they made kites. They made a few different things. It's one, and she has the books that they've read on there with, I think she put links. She puts links on there for the books. So it's just, you know, like I've said, the things she does do not cost much. She made her daughter the most beautiful little fairy wings that, you know, she goes, well, when you don't know what to do, what do? You go to YouTube or you go to the internet. And she found patterns to make this. And so my daughter has little fairy wings. My granddaughter does. But, so it's just a wonderful little blog. My daughter is she was won an award for creative writing. And so it thrills my heart to see the things that she does and talks about and how she writes it up on there. Wonderful, wonderful. Then I've read, I have book reviews, and if you go to the blog or to the show notes and you hit book review, you can actually see my written out book review on reading, writing, and so much more. If you're interested in the book I talk about, just click on the book title, and that will take you to Amazon. I'm an affiliate with them too. So anytime that somebody purchases something from Amazon, I get a couple pennies. And all these little pennies go back to the show to help me buy prizes, pay for postage, things like that. So I did a book review. This is a children's book. It's called Good Morning Yoga. I do not have a picture of the book. I'm not sure if I can put it at the beginning of this podcast or not. I will see. But it's Good Morning Yoga, and it's for children, and it's to show them how just simple breathing and simple exercises can help you face the day in such a wonderful new way. I've got to get a drink. My throat is getting tickly. Cute little book. And it has a book that you can get with it called Good Night Yoga. And it's yoga positions and breathing to help them to relax at night. Then I read a cute little children's book. I think it's basically ages 3 to 6. It's a beginning chapter book called Ava XOX. And it's a series about Ava and her friend Pip, I believe. And Ava is discovering that other kids in her class ask each other out. And she's not sure what they do when they go out. And she's not sure what this is all about. And she's not sure how she feels about it. But it's a cute book because by 5th grade, boys and girls do start noticing each other. Sorry. Then there's another part of this where Ava's friend is getting bullied. So it introduces bullying and some things that can be done and what they should do if they see somebody being bullied. Very cute book. Then I read one called 101 Simple Ways to Show Your Husband You Love Him. They have a survey in the beginning of the book so you can see what type of husband you have, and then they can lead you to activities and things to do to show him according to what kind of husband he is. Really nice. I love this book. And I'm always looking for new ways to show my husband that I love him. And it's just very simple, very fun things, so I like it. Then I read the most wonderful book. I did not know if I would like it or not. It's called Louisa, The Extraordinary Life of Mrs. Adams. I've not read a lot about John Quincy Adams. I just haven't. But this was about his wife and her life. And her life started in London. And she ended up in the United States married to this man. And they had a tempestuous life together, but they worked through it. And the travels she made and the way she had to basically carve her own life out of this new life with her husband. It was a really good book. I really did enjoy it. I gave it the most stars I could. So Louisa, The Extraordinary Life of Mrs. Adams scored very highly. All the books I read this week did. So what can I say? Now, I mentioned that I'm doing a couple craft-alongs right now, and one has to do with the annual temperature afghan, and that's not due until, I want to get the date right, January 5th. I will lock that thread, but you have until then to enter it, and it can be any project that you knit, crochet, weave, anything, as long as it reflects the different temperatures from each day. You know, like I'm using 2 different patterns. It doesn't even have to be from this year. It just has to be an annual temperature project, whatever. I'll go over the rest of the rules later. Those are the main things. Oh, you can't have started it before January 1st of this year either. Now, the other one I have is a Crafting for Charity, Craft Along. It's going to close on the 31st of this month. I'm sorry, on April 1st. I will get up April 1st, and on that day, I will close the thread so nobody can enter anymore. And then we'll start a new project next week. I'll do the drawing and everything on air. If you like that. If you don't like that, I don't have to. Anyways, the details for this one, you couldn't have started before March 1st. It has to be done March 31st. It's for anything that you craft that goes to charity. Anything. The first prize winner will get one of my yarns from Napier's Knits. The second prize winner, I mean, if I have more than 10 entries, which I do, they will get a choice of prizes from what Fizzona has sent this way, or from one of my yarns, or a pattern for up to $7.50 on Ravelry. First prize winner, I'll give you that option too. So whatever they may want, that either Fizzona gave, I've presented these before. The bag rattles so much, but there's, oh, and plus I also have the CC book. I will show you that. See, my bag rattles so much. Coffee with CC and Dammy too. And it is autographed. Ta-da! And then I also have a crochet magazine. And I have 2 sets of project markers. So if you're interested, I mean, if you win, you will get one of those. If I happen to have 30 entries, I'll get a third prize. But I like to give you choices of what I have. Now, before I get into any more of the details, if anybody would ever like to donate prizes to a giveaway or whatever, just PM me on Ravelry, and I will get back with you. And if it's a physical item, I'll tell you how to mail it to me. Or if it's like if you want to give a Ravelry pattern, when they win, I will pass you their name. So just let me know. I would be glad to have people donate prizes. I've not made enough money on Amazon or KnitPicks to be able to use it towards prizes yet. So, yeah, it's just basically whatever I create, or donations, or a Ravelry pattern for up to $7.50, because I don't have a lot of extra right now. So, anyways, that's the prizes. I do need photos of whatever you're doing in either thread. If it's the annual temperature one, leave progress pictures. Mine will be updated. I promise. You must be a member to participate of the Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group in Ravelry. You have to be a member of that in order. It's free. So, you know, if that's the only reason for entering Ravelry, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything to be on my group. So, and I've already told you that the morning of April 1st, when I get up, I will lock the thread in Ravelry for the craft along, and for the other one, I believe it's January 5th, so January 6th, I'll get up and lock that thread. Okay, let's see. Oh, and prizes. You have 2 weeks from the time I announce your name to claim your prize. If you don't claim it, it gets put back into the bin for the next time. So, I think that covers everything. Where can you find me? Well, you can find me on Ravelry as Napier's Knits, that's my own, or Naturally Kim's Knitting. You can find me on Etsy as Napier's Knits. Instagram, I'm knittin_Kim. On YouTube, Blogger, Facebook, and WordPress, I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting. So, I believe that's it for this week. Thank you for taking the time for watching. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great week of crafting with very few, if any, mistakes. Love you all. Big hugs, and bye-bye.